listening to the Insight NBL show with your hosts, Matrix and Hammer.
Mate, this one is called Forwards for the Run Home. Look, we've got lockout. This is coming out on Tuesday. We've got lockout tomorrow. And look, we've focused on our guards. Now it's time to look at the forwards. Now, Sam Froling just scored 60 15 minutes ago before we recorded this, mate.
Yeah. This has been a very last minute pivot because up until 15 minutes ago, this episode was called Fading Froling for the Run Home. But you're only as good as your last game, and we've had to move with what he's done. So tell me about it.
Mate, so it's all about getting it right with the schedule. We've, of course, everybody's on a double this coming week going forward. But then you've got 3 weeks after that. Look, bringing it up, we've got breakers, we've got bullets, we've got 36s and taipans in round 18. We've got 3 completely different teams in 19. And then you've got Illawarra and the taipans there at the end. Taipans play more games than anyone else, so we are definitely going to be talking about some taipans, even if they're not the best Supercoach options. Mate, let's head into it because, look, you're talking about premiums when it comes to cans, and there's not really one. We've called him Fraudenberg before, but would you look at getting Wardenberg? The stats back him up.
Yeah, look, we've said it throughout the year. He has been a surprise packet for us after a bit of a sophomore slump. He's come out this year, and he's been very serviceable. Look, what it comes down to with these cans, guys, we're playing the schedule. They're on doubles, but if you got a guy like Monster, is a Monster on a single versus cans versus, you know, your Fraudenbergs, your Groves on a double. Where are you going with this one? What's your line call?
I think Wardenberg outscores Trez on a double, but matchup wise, I think Tanner Groves and some of those other blokes, I think Trez could outscore him. It basically seems like it's nothing for Trez to go and score 50 when he needs it. Adelaide are in the hunt. Cairns don't really have anything to play for except, you know, maybe putting some bums on some seats.
Talking of, did you see Adam Ford's quote on NBL.com today?
No, I didn't. Fill me in.
He's come out, and I'll you know, mate, I might even bring it up just to get it right, but he's come out and he's talked about being the spoiler, wanting to, you know, ruin everyone's finals appearances. I can't actually find it here. It might be on
I hate that.
Further back. But he talked about being the guy who goes to a party, takes a shit in their toilet, drinks their beer, and leaves when he was never invited at all. And I thought that is the perfect analogy for what Cairns have the ability to do over these last 3 rounds. Whilst they can't make the playoffs, they definitely have a say in who does.
Well, we just saw Illawarra lose to Adelaide. Illawarra, of course, lost to Cairns. There's some cracks in those. The way that Cairns play, they could, I suppose, make some noise and ruin some hopes and dreams. So, look, it's keen. A lot of these guys are going to be playing for another NBL contract outside of probably Wardenberg. You know, your Groves, your Rob Edwards, and some of these blokes. So they could make some noise, and they play more games than anyone else. So yeah, you're right. I think Wardenberg can outscore Trez on doubles, but it's more about what you can do with the extra money. So after round 17, 18, after that round 18, if you get rid of Trez, you can bring in a Wardenberg and really upgrade somebody else. And that's where I get excited to talk about this. If I can get somebody else up to a Froling and then have 2 elite guys playing doubles towards the end. I think not too many casual players, even people in the top 5% are even going to be looking at somebody like Wardenberg. So I think that you can really pot it up and move up the ranks, because I think people will just go Trez over Wardenberg and not look that deep into it.
See, for me, Wardenberg, if you have a luxury trade over the next couple of rounds, he's someone you upgrade a Mason Peatling to. You park him on the bench with your eyes firmly on that round 20 when it's only Cairns and Illawarra on the double. You have flexibility. He's forward center eligible. He'll be important then. But before then, I'm not sold. You see, my forward center option up until then that I'm looking really closely at, and look, I'm going to put my cards out there. I own him already, is Trez. So forward center eligible. He was on triple double watch, just missed out on the double double. I've never seen a bloke get stranded on 9 rebounds for that long. This is the overtime game versus Tasmania. He had 9 rebounds early in the third quarter, went to overtime, still just couldn't get a sniff of it. But look, he's on doubles in rounds 17, 18, and 19. It's only that final round 20 where you don't have the ability to play him on a double. You can hold him all the way through to 20 and then maybe sell him off and bring in your Wardenbergs, your Groves, those kind of guys with a lot of extra cash to splash.
That's cool, but Trez misses out in round 19.
We're coming up around short. Can't
Yeah,
read my own
that's
handwriting.
and that's kind of where I was thinking I would
Yeah.
go with somebody else. So yeah, that's all I'm looking, and I suppose now that we've got that schedule up, I don't think there's a forward in the Jackies now that we've probably missed out on the huge price rises for Deng. But somebody that was like absolutely elite areas the other day was Matt Hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's one, looking at that schedule, you could pair really nicely with Trez. He's a little bit more expensive. He's coming off his best Supercoach game of the year. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, 59 Supercoach points, if you don't mind Matrix. He's 25.5% owned by the top 5%. Look, this is one I'm really carefully considering. And look, once again, you get into our schedule pod, jump on our Patreon. There'll be an article going up in the week about how you can pair these guys nicely. And if you've got the cash to have someone like this on your bench for a while or play him, you could do some damage down the end of the line here.
I've got something for you.
Give it to me. You did it.
Yeah, honestly, like Matt Hurt, man, like he was basically getting defended by Emmett Nair at times playing Brisbane. Like Tyrell Harrison was out. He doesn't make that much noise. Like they made Jordan Hunter sit down because suddenly Matt Hurt was a stretch 5 because of how small Brisbane were. They didn't want their guards running around because basically every guard that ran up the floor with the ball ended up injured, so they just got it into their big man inside. You will never see a situation where Matt Hurt will score this well again. Matt Hurt is a 30 Supercoach per game scorer. I think this 59, he's going to get a huge price rise. I'm calling it fool's gold, and not because I don't think that he can get 60 a week. I just think you would be better off having a Prather getting up. Honestly, you'd be better off having Froling than Matt Hurt.
All right, bring that schedule back, Matrix.
Yeah, I'll bring it back. We can talk about this.
Look, I'll give it to you. That 59 is an absolute ceiling game for him. But round 19, think about the other forwards you could play on a double. Wildcats. I'm not touching Pinder. I'm not touching Almanza. Jackies, you just mentioned you wouldn't touch any of them. Is there another forward on a double in round 19 that is better than Matt Hurt? Oh, wait.
So I've got, 6 trades left? I'm not wasting one on this guy.
Why? Well, who are you going to play in round 19 in your forward or centre positions?
Okay. Maybe in round 18, I would consider going Trez down to somebody like him. But we're just finishing round 16 at the moment. This guy isn't even on my radar.
Yeah, maybe not right now, but at some point you have to bring him in. And you need to find out when that is, when you've got trades available. He plays Adelaide in that round 19. And guess who Adelaide just gave up 35 points and 13 rebounds to? Froling.
True. So Jordan Hunter's going to be playing that position. So your point?
The point is that Froling's a bit more mobile than Geordie Hunter. Look, he's probably midway between the two of them. I think Hurt's going to be must own by then, and I don't think it's going to be a case of just bringing him in on the day. You need to start to plan ahead, whether that's getting the cash in the bank, finding out who you're going to go. Look, even if you traded Tyrell Harrison to him, if you got the cash for that, you still need to work out how to get him on your court if you're playing someone else. So it's definitely something that's highly under consideration for me.
Yeah, cool. But you're not saying right now. You're not saying at the end of round 16,
No.
you're looking at bringing in Matt Hurt.
No, probably at the end of 17 though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Look, other options we've looked at. Now, this one I don't love because of the schedule. And it's Cam Oliver. He's been Jekyll and Hyde all season. Rocks and diamonds. This round alone just personified that. First game, benched, awful, same as Jalen Adams. Second game, he comes out with a 15 and 16 double-double. Once again, we can't trust Gorge, but he is cheap as chips.
Yeah, the thing is he was 220K and you could just downgrade basically anyone. Like we were talking about downgrading to Matt Mooney weeks ago at 240K. Like if you told me Space Cam is somebody that's available for 220K before that, I would have been absolutely chuffed. So look, it's there, but playing him on singles, fine, because he can score 50 and you've got him on your bench. But I am guessing that if you want to get some of these other elite options at guard, you're going to want to downgrade probably further than Cam Oliver.
Yeah. All right. I know how you love my filthy, filthy would you rathers, and there's been some absolute doozies this season, but here's one you're going to have a hard time splitting hairs on. Tanner Groves or Wardenberg. Both forward centre eligible, both Cairns Taipans, both reasonably priced.
I think it's matchups, and let's talk about why I wasn't so keen on Matt Hurt earlier. Is Tanner Groves can do that to teams. He's sort of a tweener. He's between a forward and a center. So when they're playing that small teams, I think that Groves would have absolutely ate in that Matt Hurt game. But I think Wardenberg on any given night is a better player. So, yeah, I'm going to go Wardenberg over Groves. But he, of course, comes at a heftier price tag as well. It's about 40K.
Let me just correct you with how wrong you were then. Matt Hurt and Groves are not on par. All right? Matt Hurt is...
Playing against that tiny matchup, Tanner Groves would have eaten.
He would have fouled out in 4 minutes. Look, talking of forwards, if we need to move people around, if we want to bring in Froling, who's probably going to get a large price rise now, is it time to move on from Peatling? Is it time to move on from Bannon to free up some cash?
Oh, I mean, it depends how injured Bannon is. Bannon's been elite. He scored like 80 this week. But yeah, I'm waiting on the injury report to come out on that. Actually, having a look, Wardenberg's like the same price as Tanner Groves. So I think you could bring him Wardenberg in for basically either of those blokes. I think if some of those guys you mentioned with a double incoming, you could just wait a week on Groves and Wardenberg. I don't see them going in price, but I kind of see them I see Wardenberg at value at 310K, to be honest.
Yeah, look, and now, depending on what trades you've got up your sleeve, I think it's time to move on from Mason Peatling. He's been very serviceable. We picked him up at 79K. I can't remember what he's at right now. You might have that in front of you.
160.
But tonight he's laid an absolute goose egg. Started again, the 7 minutes, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0 Supercoach points across the box score. Darius Days played the 19 minutes and was a lot more productive. So this is probably the end of the line for our boy Mason.
Yeah, and he's been good. Like any guy that you could buy for 70 or 80K that goes up 100K. Guys, he made 100K. So
you're running out of room on this T-shirt.
Look, Mason Peatling, yeah, it's time to move on. Whether it be to downgrade him or upgrade him. Like if you're downgrading at guard with your Derek Walton Jr. trade outs or something like that, and you can get Peatling to Wardenberg, hey, by all means, that's a great trade.
Yeah. Jump on the Patreon during the week for your perfect pairs and trios with the schedule. This is moving forward with forwards.